Last year, my dad and I caught up with some old friends who we haven't seen in 8 years since we met them at the Earthship Academy in Taos, New Mexico in 2012. Like many others, Tom and Debra were dreaming of the off-grid life and went to the Earthship Academy with the hopes that they would learn the skills they needed to make their dreams into a reality. Since then, traveling back and forth from Arizona, they bought land in Crestone, Colorado and started building. Their first project was converting an old school bus into a hippie camper that they could live in while they started construction on the larger home. The grand vision that they have is huge, and it's going to take some time. But as soon as they had a roof over their heads, they started using the school bus to house volunteers who would help them build their future home. It has become an ongoing community project, and even though it's hard work most of the time, they've made some lifetime friends in the process. From visionary artists like their neighbor Jeff, who's been sculpting a masterpiece for the last 12 years, to fellow off-grid dreamers like Matt and Pete, who started as volunteers pounding tires and decided to buy land of their own down the street and start building their own home. So, in an unexpected twist, my father and I found ourselves living in a hippie bus in Crestone, Colorado, embracing the lifestyle of neighbor helping neighbor, lending a hand where we were needed, and making new friends and documenting the journey along the way. So I'm going to be releasing home tours and interviews with all of the interesting people that we met, but before that, I'd like to start the journey off in the beginning, meeting Tom and catching up with his progress on the house, and of course, taking a look inside the hippie bus that him and his partner Debra built. I got the shot. Give me like a few navig-
Okay, some frisbee.
Yeah.
You want to check in on your dad?
I'm gonna check in on my dad, and I think Matt was off.
Relation or something?
I had no idea what Tom and Debra had been up to all these years, but man, they really committed to a big project. Tom and Debra had never built their own house before, and designed the home themselves, drawing inspiration from the classic Earthship designs we studied at the Academy in Taos. Among the many design changes was a clerestory roof, which created a higher ceiling in the living spaces and let more light into the home. While giving us a tour, Tom explained that almost all the materials they used were recycled or repurposed. Most of the windows and doors they got for free or bought secondhand for a great price. The structural walls are built using old car tires rammed with dirt, a technique that they learned at the Earthship Academy. In the beginning of the project, Tom and Debra were living in the camper bus parked in front of the house. They have since upgraded to living in their first enclosed room, which allows them to spend the winters on site without constantly fighting to stay warm in the uninsulated school bus.
What are you doing?
I haven't gotten any footage in the bus yet.
You haven't gotten any what?
I haven't gotten any footage in the bus yet.
Oh, you're taking footage.
The project has been a massive undertaking so far, and Tom admitted that they might have bitten off a bit more than they can chew. With winter coming fast, they're currently rushing to finish the roof and close in the walls. So during my stay, Tom put me to work, and one of the first jobs that we did together was installing a waterproofing membrane on the roof in order to prepare for the insulation and metal roofing that was going to finish off the project. And while we waited for some more materials to finish up the roof, we decided to start closing in the sidewalls. It was satisfying to put in a good hard day's work, and in the evenings, nature would bless us with some beautiful sunsets.
What are you taking, movies?
In the morning, we'd decide what job we were going to do for the day, and some jobs are more exciting than others. Because when you're building it yourself, every tiny detail takes time. Even the smallest job can take half a day, like filling this small gap in the roof. When you've been working on a project for so many years like Tom has, it's hard to get the motivation to just do little projects like this sometimes, and it's just nice to have a friend around to lighten the load. You know, it might have been a small job, but we had a fun time doing it. And even though it can be overwhelming at times, all you can ever do is the next step. A big house is built one brick at a time. While we were working, I told Tom about the YouTube channel I was planning to create, and he started to tell me all about the like-minded people that he met here over the last few years. He started to introduce me to some of his neighbors who had also built their own off-the-grid homesteads. Tom was going to help his neighbor Matt with a ceiling installation and could use some help. Matt and his partner were building an Earthship nearby, and I was eager to meet him. Little did I know that the first day I met him I'd blow a nail through my finger helping him put up a ceiling, but you'll have to watch the video for the full story on that one. No, it was interesting to have the nail go through and out, and then for me to know that it went through and out, and then also have to pull off of it and then come down. But yeah, anyways,
Thanks for that, man.
That's the ceiling work, man. That's the brotherhood.
Yeah.
Work trades. And that was the introduction to a new playlist I'm going to be releasing with all of the stories from my trip in Colorado. That's where you can find my interview with Pete, who was able to afford building an Earthship due to the savings he made off of a viral fail video he posted on YouTube.
It was on Jimmy Kimmel. It was on fucking.
It was on Tosh?
It was on Tosh. It was on MTV, Rob Dyrdek, Ridiculousness. All these
Whoa.
places, and it was usually like $500 for them to license like the 30-second clip to it. So I got a lot of funds from all these shows.
Nikki and Zuki's Eclectic Homestead, Jeff's Sculptural Magical Masterpiece, and much more. So be sure to check out the Crestone Colorado playlist on the Off-Grid Guru channel. And the best way to learn about Earthships is by building one. I created the Earthship model kit to put an Earthship in everyone's hands. I took everything I learned from the Earthship Academy and boiled it down into a simple and easy to understand 32-page full-color booklet, which has all new diagrams to help you learn about the 6 design principles that make Earthships some of the most sustainable buildings in the world. This great educational package has been used in both the Earthship Biotecture Academy classroom and in classrooms around the world.